What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Beaufort Zone podcast. It's your boy Vaughn. I got some good stories lined up for y'all today, especially a funny one that's went viral from our own county, Beaufort County. But first thing I want to say is that I want to apologize to people who have been supporters of the show. I haven't been posting as much lately as I should have. I'm still trying to figure out the direction that I really want this show to go in, whether I want to do a Monday through Friday or maybe a weekend podcast or whatever. But the I started the podcast out. I wasn't necessarily ready to put the podcast out there yet, but some opportunities presented themselves, and some people were in the area, and I wanted to get that interview with them while I had the chance to. So I went out on a limb, and I went ahead and I put the podcast out there in the public eye, not knowing exactly how I wanted to do everything yet, and it wasn't the perfect launch, and the reception was so great in the beginning and still now. So I just went ahead and started putting it out there, started booking interviews, and started getting the people in there, and I felt like I wasn't giving you guys any good content in between the interviews, and I think that was my biggest downfall, that I was just scheduling the interviews back to back and not giving everybody necessarily their own chance to shine at first. So I didn't do that. So I wanted to apologize to y'all for that, for those of you who have been listening to the show and want to see more from me on the regular and wondering what's going to come next. So I just want to let y'all know I apologize for that, and I do plan to keep posting more and more often as I get the chance to in between my own work schedule. So now, moving on from that, this is the funniest story I've heard in a minute, and it's shocking me because I saw the story 3 days ago, and I thought it was just like a small story. It wasn't that deep, and it's crazy because I could have been one of the first people on it, which kind of made me mad. But I didn't think it was that deep. I thought it was just a crazy story. Oh, somebody else said something. Somebody said something, and I thought that maybe um that I didn't want to go in that direction. I didn't want to bring all the racial negativity towards the show. Even though I do pay attention, I know about all the school shootings. I mean, not school shootings, all the um, unarmed black shootings and stuff like that. I know about all of that, and I do pay attention to it. And I do voice my opinion about that a lot. But I didn't want to bring for the most part, I didn't want to constantly bring that negativity on the show. In this case, it's not a killing, but it's something that to me is related to it. And how some people think. A lot of people think that when we say things and when we feel the way we feel about these killings and about um, necessarily oppression in America, even though where it's at now in 2018 versus where it was at in like 1968 or so farther, when you ancestors were slaves, it's completely moved on from then, and I understand it's completely not the same, but I just want people to know that there's still some people that think a certain type of way. But the funniest part, and it kind of brings it to the front to me. But 3 days ago, I saw this story, and apparently a white woman in Bluffton named Lauren Cutshaw was arrested. And her reasoning for why she shouldn't get arrested was because she was a clean, thoroughbred white girl. That like, and if it was me, I don't think, like, even if you've never been arrested or if you've been arrested multiple times, like, I don't think, like, if you was like, hey, what should I say if I ever get arrested? What am I going to tell the cops to try to get me out of it? I don't think nobody else other than her thought that was a logical excuse. You know what I'm saying? Which throws me off. But since then, I was like, you know what? It's not that big, but it's gone viral. It's on Yahoo. It's on ABC. It's on BuzzFeed. Apparently, people who are listening to the show Friday were saying, hey, it made it to Donkey of the Day at Charlemagne. And like, by the time you make it a Donkey of the Day for saying something or doing something remotely um stupid, so to say, um if you reach Donkey of the Day, like, that's like the pinnacle. Like, once you reach Donkey of the Day, like, you're officially, like, well, an ass. So, but I have the article. I have an article that I'm going to read to you from Beaufort Gazette, that was posted 3 days ago, and then I also have I have the audio from another article they put on. They posted a video of her ride to the police station. They trimmed it down to a couple minutes. It was like 20 minutes long. They trimmed it down to like 3, so it's only a small snippet, but it'll give you enough of a detail as to what happened. So article from Beaufort Gazette by Jeff Martin, Associated Press. And another note that they have this listed as a national section. So this isn't even they don't even have it listed as local news anymore. They have it listed as national. But here we go. A woman seen speeding through a stop sign at 60 miles per hour told officers they shouldn't arrest her because she's a very clean, thoroughbred white girl, police said. Her eyes glassy and bloodshot, Lauren Elizabeth Cutshaw was slurring her words, and the breathalyzer showed her blood alcohol level at 0.18%, according to police in Bluffton, South Carolina. Cutshaw, 32, told the arresting officers she shouldn't be jailed because she was a cheerleader, a dancer, and a sorority girl who graduated from a high-accredited university. Taken to the police station in handcuffs, she described herself as a white thoroughbred and went on to say, "I'm a white clean girl," the officer wrote in his report. I asked what that had to do with anything, wrote the officer, who was also white. She replied, "You're a cop, you should know what that means. And you're a cop, you should know based on the people that come in this room. Like, everybody of every color, like, doesn't go to jail. Like, also, she repeatedly stated, "My partner is a cop, and she'd been trying to get to her boyfriend's house when she was pulled over early Saturday." Cutshaw, a real estate agent, told the officer that she had 2 glasses of wine at an upscale restaurant. How full were the wine glasses? I was celebrating my birthday, she replied. After another officer found marijuana and rolling papers in her Ford Fusion, she said she may have smoked pot earlier that evening as well, the report said. Cutshaw was jailed on charges including drunken driving, speeding, and marijuana possession, based in part on her own statements. Making statements such as these means to justify not being arrested are unusual in my experience as a law enforcement officer, and I believe further demonstrate the suspect's level of intoxication, the officer wrote. Messages left at the real estate firm she lists as her employer were not immediately returned. Bluffton is a town of 21,000 residents, about 20 miles northeast of Savannah, Georgia, and near South Carolina's Hilton Head. Now, this is hilarious. And the reason why it's so hilarious is because none of her reason, this is like pure, I don't even think, now, they said this was an indication of her level of intoxication. Like, I don't even think this was intoxication because I've seen people panic when they get in trouble. I mean, even down to getting a referral in, like, high school or middle school. I've seen people panic when they get in trouble for the first time ever. So like you said, if she's really never been arrested, I don't even think it was her being intoxicated, really. I think she just panicked and freaked out and said the first thing that came to her mind, everything that she's ever done right and not wrong to try to get her out of a ticket or going to jail. So next, and next I'm going to, which is what I'm waiting to show everybody. Next, I'm going to play the audio of her car ride with the police officer, which is honestly to me the funniest part of this whole thing. And I warn you, the video is terrifying. Hold on. Here you go. Okay. Hold on. Why did it pause? Yes, you're going to jail for the third time. Really that bad? You ran through a stop sign. Really? I've never been arrested. Can't you see that in your system? Can't you see? I graduated from a really good university. What's the name? What's almost don't count. My birthday is next week. Okay. I was a former student. I was my American high school student. I was All-American cheerleader. I mean, this is supposed to be the whole life. The whole life. I've never been arrested. I've never been in jail. Please. I don't want to know what it's like. I don't want to know what it's like. I'm a pretty girl. Please don't make me go in there. Now, that was that was the clip that, like they said it was the video. The original dash cam footage was 20 minutes long, and they edited for length and clarity. But I don't really think I wanted to hear the whole ride. And only thing I feel bad for her about in this whole video is that when I watched the video, the first like a minute of the video where it wasn't audio, was that they were doing her sobriety test. It was raining. I'm sorry. I felt bad for, because like, yo, like, why are we doing a sobriety test in the rain? Now you're sitting in the back of a car soaking wet, cold, like, But anyways, her none of her arguments were valid, and then the fact that I like what killed me is that her logical reasons for getting out of it. I'm like, if you were like 20 years old or like 24, 25, you know what I'm saying, and you got arrested for the first time, and you started spewing out these things like, hey, I'm a good person, I'm cool, da da da. I'm a 4.0 student, I was a cheerleader, this and that. Like, I would understand you, but I mean, unless you went to college late, this is the thing. Unless you went to college late, you're 32 years old. Most people, if you go straight out of high school, which a lot of people don't, she could have went later in her career. I mean, later in her life, which I don't know that information. But if she went to college when you're supposed to, you know, you were done by like 25 at the most. You were done college by then. So at 32 years old and you get arrested, why are you bringing up irrelevant stuff? My birthday's next week. Okay, well you're gonna get bonded out. You're gonna spend it in jail. Uh, um, I like, and to me, what this gives a glimpse into, and for all the people out there that are quick to have people deem as Twitter fingers, but you have them on any site, Facebook, whatever, is that when somebody gets arrested or when somebody does something for the first time, everybody's so quick to jump, especially people who've never been to jail, are quick to assume the worst of a person. Oh well, you shouldn't have did this. Oh well, have fun in jail, you jailbird, this and that, until it's your turn to go to jail, and then you're a clean, thoroughbred white girl all of a sudden. Like, some people make mistakes, and that and it happens, but when it's your turn, it's your turn. When you do something, you mess up. It don't matter what you did in the past. It doesn't matter what you did your whole life. You, at this point, you did what you did. In her case, she was drunk, ran through a stop sign at 60 miles per hour, and she had weed in her car. You're going to jail. I don't care what you did. I don't care if you saved the president from getting shot. I don't care what you did. That's your follow up. You DUI. You got celebrating your birthday. That's what you want to call it. And then she's like, "Oh, my birthday's next week." So, like, you're celebrating whole month your birthday must be. She must be one of those people that celebrate her birthday like that. And for Elizabeth Cutshaw, man, I don't know what to tell you, but you must have never gotten in trouble, seriously, for real, in your life outside of being arrested. You must have never got in trouble when you were a kid, by your parents, because you are horrible at excuses, and you need to work on it. Like, that's what you can do. Why? Work on your excuses. If you get time, or if you haven't gotten bonded out yet, or whatever, even if you get out, that should be your next thing. Hey, if I ever get in trouble again, what's my excuse? And you need to figure it out, because you're not good at it. And if you ever get in another situation, it's not gonna last you that long. So but that's clean thoroughbred white girl, boy. I tell you. But that's all I got for y'all today, man. Y'all stay updated, and I'll keep bringing y'all more and more episodes. I accidentally tapped that video again, but yo, it's your boy Vaughn. This is Beaufort Song. Next time. As many of you know, football fans, especially me, I know y'all excited. NFL kicked off its preseason this Thursday. A lot of games, had about 12 games I think they had scheduled. 7 o'clock at one time. You got 2 more games Friday. I'm very excited, but it kicked off apparently a dispute between Cam Newton and Kelvin Benjamin. A video aired by the Charlotte Observer of them two getting into a dispute, and it looked like Kelvin Benjamin didn't want no smoke, man. He did not want none. Now, I'm going to tell you where it came from originally. I guess Kelvin Benjamin got traded to Buffalo in the middle of last season. And for some reason, right before, about a week before their first game, which happens to be against each other, Buffalo Bills and the Carolina Panthers, a week before the game, Kelvin Benjamin had an interview. And apparently he told the reporters that this whole situation in Carolina was bad for him. He would have had a better career despite his injuries, which he doesn't want to point out. But apparently, if he would have been placed with any other quarterback, he would have had a better career. So to anybody, I would assume that would be an issue. It would be an issue for me if I was your quarterback and you said, hey, and I thought we had a good standing, and you say, hey, if I was with any other quarterback, I would have had a better career. So now you're trying to blame me. I mean, we do have an all-pro tight end in Greg Olsen who seems to be doing fine with me as the quarterback. But for some reason, I'm the issue, when the reason as to why your career hasn't gone the way it's gone. Not the fact that even though you're about 6'5", 6'6", you're not that fast, or the fact that even though you're not that fast, you're not great at running routes. I think you have a huge reputation in the NFL for not being a great route runner, and you're not that fast. So, I mean, but you don't want to take kind of, apparently it's my fault. But I have the video here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to narrate. You guys can have your own opinion about it, but I'm going to narrate what I think happened in the video, so you guys can get a glimpse of that. You see, Cam Newton walks up, Kelvin Benjamin. Think they were teasing him a little bit in the video, like, what happened, bro? What's all that talk? Cam Newton goes to dap him up, and he realizes Kelvin Benjamin won't even shake his hand. Like, what's up, bro? Excuse me, Thomas. What's up, bro? You can't even shake my hand. What's going on? Like, at that point, I feel like we got smoked. You gotta tell me, man, I ain't here to talk. I'm trying to talk to Thomas. Like, nah, bro. Cam like, nah, bro, where you going, man? I'm trying to talk to you, man. Nah, you ain't shake my hand. What's going on? So, bruh. So you ain't wanna. Like, come on, bro. You talking trash, but you ain't want to talk to me, bro. What happened, bro? We was cool, bro. You ain't said none of this when we was in Carolina. And Key going to walk off. Like, bro, but that's not the point, bro. You could have told me. All right, you know what? Whatever, man. You ain't even worth it, man. We gone. That's what I think happened in the video. I think if with the audio, apparently talk some the audio, Thomas Davis and the other guys was around him saying, yo, what happened, bro? I thought we was cool. As in they're saying, like, they don't know where this came from. They was blindsided. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't expect this outcome from you. Why you wait till you left to say something? If you felt like something was wrong, you should have said something then. And then last time I checked, a point that was pointed out was that the year that the Panthers went to the Super Bowl, that was the year Kelvin Benjamin was hurt. So you was out for the whole year with an injury. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think it might have been an ACL. But I know it was a lower leg injury. But you was out. So we went to the Super Bowl without you. So the year you got hurt, we went to the Super Bowl, and Cam was the MVP. So they trying to figure out what was the, like, what was the issue? It could have been one successful year. It could have been a fluke. But I think it's funny to me, and to me it shows colors. Now people want to talk about how Cam handled it, whether it was wrong or right. I think Cam handled it appropriately. I think they walked up to Kelvin Benjamin with a positive attitude. Cam was smiling. Thomas Davis was already there. Another player was already there that I couldn't tell. They was already there. And they was just like, yo, what's up, bro? I thought we was cool. What's all that? Your homeboys, you hear somebody say something, you laughing kind of like, yo, what's up, bro? What's going on? Cam reaches to do a handshake. At this point, everything is cool. Where the issue comes at is when Kelvin Benjamin won't even shake his hand. So now now it's an issue. That's when the beef comes in. I think in all circles of life, if somebody goes to give you a handshake and you don't give them a handshake back unless somebody's already cracking on you or something, and you're like, nah, I'm not gonna shake your hand. Yeah, I was just talking trash about me. In all the situations, that's disrespectful. Like, yo, bro, why you want to shake my hand? What happened? You know what I'm saying? So now they got an issue and they go on to talk. And it's like, so what's up? Like, what's the issue? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we was cool when we was in Carolina. You never expressed no frustrations in Carolina. Apparently, they were cool outside of team activities, that they were hanging out at each other's house. So now you're on a new team and you're in a new space. Now all of a sudden, it's my fault the reason your career wasn't the way it was. If you felt that way, why you ain't want to get together and run some extra routes together? Why you ain't want to do, you know what I'm saying, something focus on training? Or tell me so I can get better. If you feel like my fault, we can have this conversation. But you decide to go out publicly and say, hey, you know what? Hey, it's his fault to why I wasn't doing what I could have been doing. I wasn't playing to my fullest potential. Put me in any other situation with any other quarterback, and I'd have been doing better. Well, we about to find out what you're going to do, Kelvin Benjamin, because right now, Tyrod Taylor, you don't got Cam. Tyrod Taylor is now a Cleveland Brown. Now you'll start now you got a QB carousel of Josh Allen and Nathan Peterman. Those are your two bets, your best bets, your best options of who throwing you the ball this year. And to me, that don't sound like a good start. So, your money, you better put your money where your mouth is, and there better be no excuses. You said with any other quarterback other than Cam, you be all right. So we gonna find out, and you definitely gonna find out, because if you don't gotta have a good year, it's gonna be it's gonna look real bad on your resume as far as you talking trash. You always gotta put you talk trash, you gotta put your money where your mouth is, and in this case your stats where your mouth is, because you better show up. Because if you don't, end of the season, man, Cam gonna be smiling, chewing bubble gum, doing the dab, Superman dance, whatever he do. So you better hope you don't have a bad year and a good year, because it ain't gonna look good for Kelvin Benjamin if that's the outcome. But once again, man, this is Vaughn, this is Beaufort's Own. We'll be right back. All right, y'all. What's going on? It's your boy Vaughn with Beaufort's Own Podcast. We are back. What I'm going to introduce to you guys now is the segment called Quick News. This is the segment where I've took articles from online or in the Beaufort Gazette actual physical paper, and these are just headlines, things that if you guys want to go in depth on, or you guys want to figure out yourself and want more information or clarity, that's the word, clarity, on the subject, you can feel free to look them up yourself, whether it be on the website or whether you decide to go purchase a newspaper. So that being said, let's hop into it. Quick news for today. Mercury was found in 4 Beaufort County schools. Those 4 schools that are Hilton Head School for the Creative Arts, Beaufort Middle, Robert Smalls Academy, and Islands Academy. The source for the mercury is the rubber gym floors that they put in those 4 schools. Apparently, the level of mercury is normal as long as the air is running. But whenever it's not running, whenever the air is off, that's when the mercury levels become abnormally high. Their solution to that, though, is they're going to put a new coating on the floor, they're going to lower the temperature in the gyms, so that way they keep the airflow running more often. If one of the AC units happens to break during this time before they put the new coating on the floor, They're just going to shut the gym down completely. And you guys, the parents and students, you don't have to worry about the mercury being in other areas of the school. They did test it, the other areas outside the gym, and the issue of the mercury is only in the gym. It's not in the other parts of the school. They have no timetable for the new coding, but they will keep parents notified. Apparently through a new website that I didn't see in the two articles that I found about the issue. I couldn't find nothing about the website that they were talking about. So if you're a parent, you probably do know. Maybe you've been to a meeting or your student has informed you. They sent home a newsletter or something. Hopefully they have. The effects of mercury, just so you know, is irritability, shyness, tremors, and memory problems. And signs of exposure include coughing, difficulty breathing, nausea, eye irritation, severe tremors, and changes in behavior or vision. All right. According to Wade Livingston article, apparently a daughter and her mother got into an argument, and she decided it would be a good idea to throw a chihuahua at her mother for some reason. In a letter to the editor, Beaufort County spends $2.2 million on a white elephant. And for those of you who don't know what a white elephant is usually something that somebody does not want, or it's become an issue or a burden, but it's too much to just give away at the same time. Apparently, that property is a building on Buckingham Landing that was supposed to be a restaurant. It's two restaurants that failed to capitalize on that property. They've been using it as a boat ramp for the Defusky Island Ferry. They've been paying the owner of that property $10,000 a month since Hurricane Matthew, I believe, destroyed the other property, the other docking landing for the ferry. So I guess they decided they went ahead and paid the $2.2 million for that, which I know the math, but that sounds like almost maybe 17, 18 years time that they could have been, paying on that. So I guess they have plans on that to do. Lastly, a man is in critical condition after being pinned to the side of a trailer by a truck. Apparently, that started with a dispute between him and another man, and the guy said, pinned him between the truck and the trailer just happened to fall. So once again, these are topics that if you guys want to look up more, if the headlines happen to interest you, if you guys want to look that up and get more information on that, you can. Once again, this is Javon with Beaufort. That's quick news.